love summer.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Back like you owe
children.
us money. Woo. Back like vertebrae.
Back like that thing we can see from the front.
Back like car seats.
Back like how far back?
Back like Burt Bacharach.
I like that right there. I think I'm done. I can't compete with Burt Bacharach.
We would like to welcome you, everyone IG, everyone here, to the Pass the Bag podcast.
It's not enough for you to get the bag.
It will never be enough. You
Never.
got to know how to keep that bag.
And if you want to secure the bag, what you got to do?
You got to share the bag. Now, kindly, please, pass the bag.
I am one half of this dynamic duo, the one that they call Mr. P from the 313, Robert Edward Patterson II. My man, who you be?
I am Adrian Black from Danville, Virginia. Put the ill in Danville.
That's right, baby.
Let's
Listen,
go.
y'all. This is PTB Season 2 doing the
Where
thing.
we at?
Fried, rice.
Fried.
NYC.
Indeed.
Upper Hills.
Home of the dope
Shenzhen,
fashion.
PRC.
They got a dope sale going on, $268 for their 4 different classic tees. Check them out.
Upper Hills, send them checks.
Big
I'll tell y'all
shouts to
something.
Nolan. Big shouts to Maya Fried Rice.
If you haven't been here yet to this complex, it's a fantastic complex.
Great place
they
to
got
shop.
the residential up in here. I don't know how many of those really hip coffee shops that they have.
So many. A
but
great place to take pictures.
Oh man, wonderful place to do photo ops.
Yeah.
Really kind of on the tip of the spear for the part of the culture that is organic that Shenzhen is carrying on.
Yeah.
So not just people like Fried Rice, but also a lot of other people who come from that community culture,
All about community.
startup culture. You know, and Shenzhen is one of those places.
We're talking about community.
You know,
You can't talk about Shenzhen without talking about community.
let's do it.
So since we're talking about community, we have our own community,
That's right, baby.
our own group on WeChat. Pass the Bag
Pass it on.
podcast group.
That's
If you're on WeChat, please consider joining our group.
That's
let Mr. P know or let me know.
That's right. Just
We'll
send
get
us
you
a private
in.
message. We'll see what we can do about getting you in. That's right.
Because our group gives us we have a lot of great dialogue in our group, a lot of great conversations, a lot of great engagement, building community, answering questions and asking questions. And a lovely member of our team and also a member of our group, Miss Nicole, and her Instagram is
astrolabe_mist.
Yeah.
Bam.
And she had a great point that we would like to start the pod with today.
Let's diggy do it.
Let's say it.
And it goes a little something like this.
Dear bag pilots, once upon a bag, there was a question, dangling its little legs in wondrous idleness. Are there any parallels between the ancient Roman phenomenon of bread and games for the people and the big sports industry in the U.S.? Awesome question. In ancient Rome, the spectacle of gladiator fights and the chariot races engaged the Roman citizens in a way that kept them in a state of acceptance and satisfaction with the permanent emperial affair of war for the sake of expansion.
Whoa.
That was a big statement. Fast forward to the U.S., especially when the NBA, I feel it's so baffling. It looks very contradictory to me as an outsider. She's from Germany. Where's she from?
Germany.
But where in Germany though?
Berlin.
Where in Berlin?
Berlin. She is from. Oh man, I don't even want to say it.
You forgot already.
Yeah.
Will you tell us again? Panko. Shouts to Panko. Everybody in Panko.
Panko.
What up?
What?
So the NBA is dominated by Afro-European athletes who, at times, get downright worshipped as superhumans. It's true. I love LeBron James. Nice counterweight inside a culture which is racist on an institutional level.
Whoa. No. No beating around the bush there.
She said it in the most offensive way possible.
That's beautiful.
Is this modern mythological sports culture business receiving subventions by forces higher up? Forces who are acting through this business machine to produce the illusion of equality, who are calculating to pacify, love that word, pacify the people who are potent enough to rally against human equality
Human inequality
once it ever becomes too unignorable.
End quote.
End quote.
Thank you,
Thank
Nicole.
you for that awesome question, Miss Nicole from Germany, from Panko. Shouts to the Bears.
And if any of you all, at the end of a podcast, in the middle of a podcast, or the beginning of a podcast, you ever feel so inclined to continue these types of critical dialogues. We encourage you to do so. Go ahead, send in whatever it is that you want to say.
PassTheBagPodcast@gmail.com,
right.
or hit us up in the WeChat group, or hit us up on IG at PassTheBagPodcast.
Or Twitter at
So let's
PassTheBagPod.
get into this.
Right.
Man, that question is amazing. And
bread and games.
Bread and games. And so I was really thinking about this, like when you asked the question, because the NBA is set to open back up now on July 31st. And
say what?
The first group.
Say what?
The NBA is opening back up on July 31st.
You know, that's a worldwide
and so
event.
22 teams are all going to Orlando to Walt Disney. They're building a campus just for the NBA.
How many teams?
22 teams.
Out of 30.
Bringing
them back.
And so the reason why I felt like what Nicole said was so poignant was that when I thought about it, it was like they're going to be basketball games all day. Because they're all playing at this one site. There's not going to be multiple courts. There's going to be one court.
That's right.
Set up. So they're going to be basketball games all day. So how many people that are protesting now are not going to be outside protesting?
Just so they can go back in.
Once the NBA starts.
Basketball.
Luckily, we have technology where you can watch the NBA on your phone, right? You could be in the middle. You can be
if you got that package.
If you got
it like that.
You could be out there with your sign watching the game like Kawhi just scored. Kawhi putting up buckets. Let's go.
In the middle of the speech, you know, somebody's rallying against you. I mean.
But I also thought about that a lot of the first people leading some of these peaceful protests were NBA players.
Man, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar back in the
Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, but even now, Malcolm Brogdon. What's my
what about that brother who got is that the brother
Jaylen Brown?
Is Malcolm that brother who got tased in Milwaukee?
No, that's somebody else.
Yeah,
that's somebody else.
Or maybe he didn't get tased, but he still has a lawsuit out against the Milwaukee.
The state of Milwaukee, right?
Absolutely. Hey, big shout out to Rachel, by the way, who just came into the building. You know what I'm saying?
Big shout out to all our PAs. We got a new PA, Jerry.
That's right.
A.K.A. Miss Danielle.
Yeah.
Big shouts to her. Thank you so much. Shouts to New Orleans.
What up, Marrero?
University of New Orleans.
What up, Marrero? Yeah.
So it's a big conversation because I think the key word I saw in that phrase was pacify.
Pacify.
Like and for those who might not know what that necessarily means, pacify is when you give somebody a little bit of something so they can just shut up. You know how you got your kid and it's crying and it's going crazy, and you give them that little thing called a pacifier, and they start sucking on it, and then they're quiet again.
Yeah, man. I really do appreciate Nicole for sending this at us and really helping us to be able to carry on a dialogue, because it's important, you know, for my brother Black here and myself to make sure that we're not just two, so-called angry black guys talking about this or talking about that. And I've even said it, you know, there's a lot of other things that I would rather be talking about, but at a time like now, it will be irresponsible for us not to do so. And it's not just about you all listening to us. It's about us listening to one another. You know, it's about us really understanding the way that we're using our voices, where our passion lies, where it is that, you know, what our actual perspectives on these situations are versus us just agreeing to everything, you know, where we agree, where we disagree, acknowledging one another's perspectives and experiences, you know, because that is how we get over the hump, especially when you talk about oppression, you know, because oppression, one of the tools of oppression is exclusion, you know, and that's part of how you divide folks and conquer folks. When folks are divided, they are not listening to one another. When folks are divided, they are not sharing their voices. Yeah. And, you know, this is one of those things that's really lovely. I appreciate Nicole keeping her perspective, putting her perspective inside of there, you know, as an outsider looking at that situation, just straight up racist system, pacifying folks, entertaining them. And I feel like the NBA, you know, we're going to talk a little bit. Later, we got the ball back.
Yep.
And we're really going to get into this bread and game situation.
The NBA does a much better job
than some other organizations.
And I think the NBA players understand, I think because their game is without a helmet, you know.
That's right.
And you can see them.
That's right.
And they're so present on social media. And they NBA athletes build their brand better than any other athlete in the world.
It's also so much more of an international game.
It's so much more, except for maybe outside of football, like world football.
Yeah. But in terms of in the States?
In the States, though.
It's the most worldly game that we have in the States.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of bridges that come from that.
And I feel like the NBA players, especially like LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul, for example, so many NBA players use their platform as a way to speak out against injustice and speak out against some of the things that are plaguing underprivileged communities throughout the world.
Yeah, I want to take that moment to also give another shout out to another Louisiana great, and we did it last podcast, but I feel like it's worthy because we're talking about the NBA. The only rapper to ever play in the NBA.
Make him say,
Shout out to the Tank.
Well, the only rapper that was a rapper before he went to the NBA, because there's rappers in the NBA.
That's true. He was a rapper before he went to the NBA, but he was a ball player in college.
Actually, that's a great bag that we got to do one day.
Oh man, we got
to rank the best ball playing rappers.
That's coming at y'all.
That we're gonna do that maybe next pod.
Listen, y'all.
Somebody write that down. Let's
do this, man.
Rank the ball playing rappers.
Let's do this.
Let's write that down. All right. It's an amazing conversation. Please join our conversation. Join our WeChat group. Be a part of the team, and pass that bag. And let's get into the first bag. Let's get into the first bag for
Let's go
for
ahead
today.
and reach in here
and see what we pull out.